Okay, so the question was fifths. What are fifths? And fifths are an interval that can be looked at. You can make an arpeggio out of it. You can also learn a bit about chord theory from understanding what a fifth is, and maybe even the circle of fifths. So I'm going to run through these real quick. Let me spend like 30 seconds on what the circle of fifths is. Now when you have a piano and all the pitches are laid out in a line, you need to know which notes are going to be sharped or flatted in different keys. And the circle of fifths is a tool. It goes around all the keys and it has all the flats in order and all the sharps in order. And they're in a certain order. The flats go B, E, A, D, G, C, F. So let's say in a key signature I had 3 flats. I would know that the flatted notes in that key are B, E, and A, from B, E, A, D, G, C, F. So it's a way to look at key signatures, and then the sharps go in the opposite direction on the other side. So the opposite, I remember by saying Freddie can go down and eat Betty, which is the opposite of B, E, A, D, G, C, F. So it's for looking at key signatures and knowing what notes to sharpen flat. But the guitar isn't like that. The guitar goes down like this. So when we play, let's say, the major scale, it creates a pattern. Let's look at it like this chord. This is a pattern. Okay, so now let's move that. G major. Whatever notes are sharped and flatted to create this G major, it happened automatically. A major, B major, C major. None of these notes are sharped or flatted. So on the guitar, it's essentially not necessary to even work with the circle of fifths. It can help for other things like chord progressions and different things, so you might want to look into it. But for the most part, you do not need the circle of fifths. So then, what is a fifth interval? What is an interval? So we take this major scale. That's an octave. So we went A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, because I'm in A major right here. I can switch it to C major for you. Because this scale shape, just like that chord shape, I move it, everything that needs to be sharped and flatted is automatically sharped or flatted. Now if you learn C major scale in every position, that's kind of cool. There's no sharps or flats, and you'll know every note on the entire guitar. But I think I did a video on that. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From 1 to 2, that's a 2 interval. From 1 to 3, that's a 3rd interval. From 1 to 4 has that shape, that's a 4th interval. From 1 to 5, that's a 5th interval. And they have different sounds, and then of course the 6th and the 7th and 8th interval is your octave shaped like that. So anywhere I move these shapes, it's just like anything else, that's a 5th, that's a 5th, that's a 5th, that's a 5th. Okay, so, and they have a certain feel to them. Like, for instance, a 4th sounds like Here Comes the Bride. A 5th sounds like Star Wars. Now, a chord is made up of the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. So a C major chord will have a C, and then C, D, E, and a G. So let's look at that like a common G chord. So here we have our G. This is our G chord. Look at the shape. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same as this open D string. So when we play this G chord, we're going 1, 3, 5. So it's the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th that makes a major chord. If you flat the 3rd, that's a minor chord. Okay, so if we're playing a 5th, the reason this power chord is so popular and used in so many songs, it's because it's really 66% of a chord. You've got the 1st, you got the tonic there, and you've got the 5th. So that's a 5th interval. It's used a lot as a power chord. And then a power chord like this, you're just giving a fuller sound by adding in the octave, so kind of doubling up on that. Okay, so now what about playing arpeggios and playing fifths in arpeggios? Well, the idea of an arpeggio is I'm playing a certain number of tones as I go up the scale. For instance, I'm going to play the first, and then I'm going to play the third, and then I'm going to play the fifth, and then that's the first, third, and fifth. So then the next note would be an octave, and then that completed that section. So that's playing 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. And it has a real neat feel to it. You can add it into your A minor, natural minor, because the reason that sounds good is because from here to here I'm doing not a major third, but a minor third. I could change that, so we're in A minor, but I could change it to A major by going. Sounds major. So my arpeggio could go and go up like that, or be minor. Okay, so now what if I don't want that third in there? I just want to work with fifths. Okay, fine. 1, 5, and then there's your octave. And that's all that would be from here to here, because you're only playing the 1, the 5, and the octave. So that would have a feeling kind of like this. Whoops. Okay, just a 1 and the 5. It sounds very major. Well, of course it does. There's no chance for the minor third in there. There's just 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5 up that, which would make it A major there. Now, I can go a fifth off a fifth off a fifth. Go a fifth, a fifth, a fifth, a fifth of that, and a fifth off that. So I'm playing a fifth interval after every single note. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to stay in key. So if I'm doing the... That sounds cool, and I might use it to in a part of a solo, maybe going up or something like... But then stick into a key of some sort, because you're just going a fifth off of a fifth, and it actually will take you out of a standard key right there. So fifth, and then a fifth, 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 1, 5 octave, 1, 5, and that will stay in key. And 1, 3, 5 minor, because it's a minor third. Could play with a major third. And it stays kind of in that minor feel. So there's a few different arpeggios. Now what's neat about this, I was talking about these being a minor, major, doing 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, or fifth, 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 fifth. This is all in A. Let's just move it down here. So G minor, arpeggio, 1s, 3s, and 5s. Let's do F. A B. It's the same thing I was talking about before. Just move it. Everything's sharp and flatted organically. So if you learn this 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5 arpeggio, or the 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, you can move that shape, move that scale, if you want to call it that, to every single key. So now you can play arpeggios based on fifths, arpeggios based on 1, 3, 5s, or something more abstract, like just go fifths off fifths off fifths. But you can, once you get that shape, just move it. And so I'll play it once real slow so you can get it. I think this one has more applicable value, the 1, 3, 5, because it kind of goes off of a chord. And let's say you had a chord that was adding something like a 6 or a 7 chord. Well, you just add that 7th tone into your arpeggio, and it'll closely match the chord you're trying to play over. That can help with your solos. So from the 5th fret here, 8, 7, and then it starts over at the octave, of course. 7, 10, 9. And then don't forget the guitar, the way the guitar is tuned there. So we kind of fall to there. Memorize that, move it. Now you have your 1, 3, 5 arpeggio in every key. And then of course 1, 5, 1, 5. And some people get really awesome at moving around on this stuff. But there you go, fifths, arpeggio work, what a fifth interval is, what the circle of fifths is, and a little bit on chord theory. Hope that helps. Keep rocking.